from folks trying to defend players saying 82 games is too rigorous for them. A huge reason for that, Rick Barry's on the show on a regular basis, and he routinely hates hearing that type of language because to him, these individuals could and should handle that workload. My gripe has always been like the lack of consistency with these back-to-backs, meaning the Warriors might play the second of a back-to-back in that same game. Their opponent probably did not have to deal with a back-to-back. So the Warriors in that hypothetical situation are at a competitive disadvantage. When you have the two teams playing each other like that, and I first started noticing this scheduling discrepancy back in the COVID year. They started doing this to squeeze more games in, to reduce travel. I love it. I have no qualms with back-to-back games if it's the same two teams playing each other. And case in point, this matchup where the two teams split the games, neither team was at a disadvantage in game two. I like it. And I wish the NBA would make this a permanent thing where schedule the back-to-backs, but have them with the same two teams in the same location so they're not having to travel. There's no advantage for one team over the other. Your thoughts, Sophia?
No, I agree. I'm not a fan of the concept of back-to-backs in general. However, if you do have them, I think that this is the best case scenario for pretty much all the points that you mentioned, where no one team has a competitive advantage over the other. However, I would just say one downside is when you had, with this matchup in particular, and because it happens with a lot of these matchups as well, where for yesterday, they made a huge deal of it for the ESPN Sunday Showcase, and it was like the game of the day pretty much. And then just to turn around the next day and play again, it takes a little bit of the air out of it as a spectator, I guess I would say.
That's fair. It makes perfect sense, yeah.
But for the players and teams, it definitely does make the most sense.
We're going to hit a quick pause button on the scoreboard because Ryan Leong is joining us live from Chase Center. He works with NBC News Radio, Bay Area Sports Wrap. Great to see you, brother. It's Sophia Jones's 23rd birthday tonight. So we're celebrating that. Ryan, how are you doing, brother? Your immediate reaction to the Warriors winning a somewhat tight game, 130-120. Great to see you, man.
Well, first of all, I got to give a shout out to Sophia on her Jordan year. Right?
Yeah. Good stuff.
Or her Draymond year. Whatever
call,
23, right? All these 23s out there. So
great call.
Throwing those out there. It's been a while since it was my 23rd birthday, but that's always a special one. So happy birthday, Sophia.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then my reactions to the game. Good game for the Warriors, but I'll tell you, I mean, Portland, they may not be that great. They've only got 28 wins or whatever, but they're a hard team, man. They didn't give up. I mean, they got this game down to like 4 points. I think a couple of times. They kept it within 6, within 10. I mean, Chauncey Billups has these guys playing hard, and he did achieve his one goal tonight. I asked him in pregame about Steph possibly getting the 4,000 threes, and he says, we want him to get that record, but not against us. He got his wish. So
it's funny that teams care about that, man. Did you notice the crowd anticipating it? Because Steph was forcing a few threes at the end there. He finished. Go ahead.
Yeah, he finished 5 of 11. He was 5 of 7 at one point, and the last 4 threes he took, you could tell he was jacking up crazy shots. I mean, shots that are even far for him. It's like, he just that's all right. You know what? Hey, he'll do it against Sacramento. It's going to happen in the next game for sure. So,
what are your in tonight's pregame? Steve Kerr brought up that Jonathan Kuminga is likely, and Podziemski, they're both likely going to come back. In his words, later this week. There's 2 games remaining this week. Thursday at home against the Kings. Saturday at home against the Jalen Brunson-less New York Knicks. Brunson's out for a couple weeks because of an ankle injury. Anything you're hearing, Ryan, about Kuminga?
I'm not, but now that you mentioned that they're the Jalen Brunson-less Knicks, I think they would come back against the Knicks, I think.
Oh, so you think Kuminga would come back Saturday and not Thursday?
I'm guessing. Yeah, that's my guess. I could be wrong. That's my guess.
And that's just intuition? Like there's nothing...
Yeah, because if they don't have a guy like Jalen Brunson on a team, right, and that makes them a little bit the Knicks a little bit less of a team, then maybe that's a better case scenario for a guy like Kuminga to make his return.
That's a good point. It's an easier integration.
Yes.
And Sophia, do you like that? How Ryan is showing respect to the Kings by saying that the Kings will be more difficult out than the Knicks, even though the Knicks beat the Kings tonight 133-104. But despite that, the Kings, in Ryan's eyes, are a more daunting opponent. I agree, man. Like, Malik Monk is never easy.
Yeah, he's not an easy. Yeah, exactly.
No, I agree 100%, and especially when you have rivalries like this as well, it never goes as planned.
No. And at least they don't have De'Aaron Fox to complain about it anymore. I asked about it last year, and man, I really pissed him off. I don't have to worry about that anymore since he's playing for the Spurs. But he would always say it's not a rivalry. Harrison Barnes would say it's not a rivalry. It's a rivalry.
But by the way, hold on. There's something in the chat that, here it is. Link 1879 writes, is Guy Santos the next Juan Toscano Anderson, with some physical resemblance to Anderson Varejao? Very different games, but I see the resemblance a little bit.
Yeah.
He is playing some great ball. One thing that was lost, and we haven't mentioned it either until just now, but this was lost in Steve Kerr's post-game comments the last game, following what was that, Saturday, where Steve Kerr said, and I love that he said this, the topic was Kuminga and how they're going to assimilate him back into the rotation. And what Steve Kerr said is that whatever we do, and I'm paraphrasing, but hopefully I get the context accurately, is that Steve Kerr said that whatever they do, it's not going to affect Guy Santos. In other words, Steve Kerr said Guy Santos will play. And I feel like that was a big fear for a lot of people when we talk about whose minutes are going to get diminished with Kuminga coming back. I don't want to see Guy Santos phased out, man. Like, the Warriors are doing good things because of him. Sophia, I'll start with you, and then Ryan, I'd love to get your reaction as well. Guy Santos, I love this kid. He's even bringing the ball up as a point guard now. Your reaction to Santos's play lately, Sophia?
Yeah, with the comment, I can definitely agree he's giving similar vibes to a Juan Toscano Anderson, but he just comes with a lot of hustle and effort, and he's a longer player, so he always plays or tries to play good defense. He's getting a little bit more comfortable in his offensive capabilities as well. So I think I'm glad to hear that his minutes won't really be affected, because I think they're really key for the Warriors.
What are you seeing, Ryan, with Guy Santos, man? The fans love him. I feel like his teammates love him. What an incredible find, man. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I remember covering Anderson Varejao when he was on the Warriors. He was another hard-fought guy that, hustle guy. Warrior fans love hustle guys. Remember the custodian?
Yeah. Oh, Brian Cardinal.
Brian Cardinal. Yeah. See, I'm bringing back some old school names. There you go. Yeah, very similar. I mean, Guy Santos didn't have a great game tonight, but he only took 6 shots. He was 2 of 6 from the field. But yeah, I mean, I again, Warrior fans love hustle players.
As
Brian Cardinals, the Anderson Varejaos, with the JTAs. I don't know.
Even Matt. I don't. This may seem weird, but even like What Barnes,
Matt Barnes, was a hustle player.
He hustled, high high energy. He
was a bit of a what do you call it? He was a bit of a dirty player, though. I thought Matt Barnes.
You thought he was a dirty player?
A little bit.
How so?
Like he would a little physical. He would kind of a little bad boy's blood in him. Not quite.
Matt Barnes is very understated, in my opinion, in Warriors lore. When you consider he was a pivotal part of the We Believe team, comes back for the 2017 championship. Like, right. He's been around for some really big years on this squad.
But he was kind of a badass. You know what I'm talking about, right? He was.
I'm trying to get him on the show as a guest on the show soon. Hopefully, it'll happen.
All right.
I love him, dude. I know he's done some stuff off court that makes some people, a little weary, but I love him, dude. I think Matt Barnes is fantastic.
Yeah, but you're right, though. He was definitely a fan favorite because he's another one of those hustle players again. Barbosa, I see. Yeah, but Barbosa was a different kind of hustle player, and he would just inspire people by saying we're going to be championship, right? I mean, he just said that over and over again, and people just loved him just for the fact that he said that.
Yeah,
and he's always been like a cheerleading type, so. He's a different kind of player, though. You know what I mean? I would definitely put him as a hustle player too, but in a different category.
All right, Ryan, do you mind joining us for the scoreboard? Because we're in the middle of it and we're starting to wrap it up. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, so let's go back to the scoreboard. We're almost there, and then we're going to read off the standings. I haven't looked at the standings since this game ended, so this has become my favorite part of the show, just to see where the Warriors are. Real quick before I resume the scores, and Sophia, I'm so sorry. I'm wrapping it up, I promise. I made this argument Saturday night after the Warriors won a hard-fought victory over a very good Detroit Pistons team, who I'm very grateful is not on the Western Conference, because that team's going to be good for years to come. But I said this on Saturday, and because now that we're seeing how the postseason is going to likely shake out, you see where the Warriors currently are. I think it is a night and day difference between the Warriors fighting to get the 5 seed, maybe even the 4 seed, versus the 6 seed, for the simple reason that if you finish 4 or 5, you're likely going to play Memphis or Houston in the first round, as opposed to playing the Nuggets or the Lakers. And then you get out of the first round, and now you have OKC in the second round, a team you've already beaten 2 of 3 times. The one time you lost, you actually had that game under control and barely lost at the very end. Steph did not play in that game. The Warriors feel comfortable playing the OKC Thunder. And if you finish as a 4 or 5 seed, you get them in the second round, and then you could save Denver or the Lakers, who I think are the most imposing, most formidable opposition that the Warriors are going to have to deal with this postseason. You save that for the end. You let those teams duke it out in the conference semis, so you get the bloodied, wary version. That is what I'm seeing here, and I think getting 4 or 5 is way bigger than finishing as the 6 seed. Sophia, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on playoff positioning?
No, I agree. I think with that 4 or 5, like you mentioned, it would either be Memphis or Houston, which I don't think either of those teams really scared the Warriors too much. But Denver and Los Angeles or the Lakers, they are always problems. And to face them later down in the road will definitely be helpful.
Ryan, your thoughts?
Well, no question. I mean, why wouldn't you want to be the higher seed, especially in the case where, like Sophia mentioned, I mean, the Warriors could definitely handle, I think, the Grizzlies and Rockets better than they can handle the Lakers, or, you know, I guess if they were to go any further down, like face the Nuggets or something like that. I think they would definitely, the Grizzlies or Rockets would definitely be better opponents for them, I think. Better matchup.
Sean McCray in the chat wants to know your thoughts, Sophia, on the Warriors rotations with both Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga set to come back this week, this according to Steve Kerr. Your thoughts, Sophia, on the assimilation of one and both those players?
Yeah, in this recent stretch, I feel like Podziemski has been playing great. So, and just knowing Steve Kerr and how much he likes Podziemski, I don't really see any changes to kind of his rotation and minutes once he returns to play. But for Kuminga, I mean, Steve Kerr, he kept him on the bench for the longest, and with Moses Moody playing so well in that starting lineup now, I'll be surprised to see Kuminga just automatically jump back in there, unless if he really plays tremendously coming off of the bench. But Kuminga will definitely be one of those first players off the bench.
Any follow-up to that, Ryan?
No, I think Sophia summed up pretty well. I mean, again, the Warriors will be a stronger team if they get both these guys back. I mean, Podziemski's really come on of late, especially since they got Butler in the big trade. So, and Kuminga, we don't know yet. I mean, he would just be a brand new addition, if you will, to this team. But I think certainly they're definitely going to be stronger with him than without him.
We haven't played any sound here on the show yet, and we have a couple of sound bites that have come down. If you folks don't mind us playing this real quickly here. The 2 players who we'll hear sound from are Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield. Butler with his first triple-double as a member of the Warriors. Just, again, it's night and day. It is insane. Ryan, everyone I've spoken to who covers the Warriors on a consistent basis, they can't shut up about how different the energy is now since Jimmy Butler got there. Like someone behind the scenes told me that this setting behind the scenes, like the mood of whether it's media, employees, it was depressing. People were literally down. And the jolt of energy that Jimmy Butler has brought, I don't know if words can describe it. Ryan, you're there every home game. Put in your words the best you can. What a difference Jimmy Butler has made since coming to the Warriors.
Well, I would say it was very similar to when they got Kevin Durant. I mean, I was here for those years when they had KD, and as good as that Warriors team was, And I haven't. It's funny. I think I stand correct on my thinking here. When they won 73 games, that was before they had KD. They lost the finals to Cleveland, and I said to then KCBS sports director Steve Bitker that nobody's going to care or remember the 73 win team if they don't win at all.
I said that exact same thing.
He argued with me and said, no, it's going to be a great accomplishment. I said, sorry, Steve. People remember champions. They don't remember anything else, okay? And it's like the Seattle Mariners. They won 116 games. Anybody talk about the 2001 Seattle Mariners? Nobody. Nobody.
No. To me, the comparison, that's a good one. But I think that the 2007 Patriots was the best metaphor.
Oh, yeah. They're one win away from going perfect. I mean, they're the closest thing ever to beating the Miami Dolphins record.
Yeah.
Sophia, do you follow the NFL much at all?
No.
Okay, so this Patriots team was on the verge of going perfect. And at the time, they had added one more game to the schedule, so they would have been 19-0 and finished with a perfect record, and they lost the Super Bowl to the Giants. So by losing the Super Bowl, that ended their chance of a perfect season. And again, nobody talks about them because why? They didn't win it all. And
by the way, Chris Mullen in the chat, just real fast. I don't like lies being disseminated anywhere. So I appreciate no falsehoods being spread, and that includes Chris Mullen saying that I didn't want Jimmy Butler. Bullshit! I was one of the only guys who did.
He did. I didn't want Jimmy Butler at the time. I didn't want him because I heard his comments, and I had known from times I had interviewed him when he came in to visit as a visitor to other. I think when he was with Minnesota, he came to the Warriors.
Well, you didn't like the ego. Like, you did not want him coming in here and being a diva.
Well, I mean, look at what he said. I mean, those comments were like, those weren't even like cryptic comments. Those were like, get me the F out of here comments. I mean, that's why there's no question why the Heat suspended him 7 games. I mean, he earned that suspension, right?
He did.
But I will say, the guy is very intelligent. The way he said it was hilarious, right? I want to get my happiness back. Do you see it happening here? No, I don't think so. I mean, he is definitely a very interesting athlete. I actually saw a segment they did of him on CBS Saturday Morning, where he's interviewed by Dana Jacobson about his coffee ventures. Did you see this segment?
I didn't see the segment, but we know all about Sophia Jones is a Miami resident, and she's actually been to one of his coffee shops there. So,
Big Face, right?
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did. No, my apologies. But you drove by it? I thought you've seen. Did you see the outside of one of the shops? Am I just wrong on that altogether? Okay, then I'm sorry, but we just had a conversation about coffee shops in Miami.
We did. And yeah, because I think he started Big Face Coffee more so in the bubble, and by then I had already moved out to the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So I will. Okay, I'm gonna put it in the comments. So if anybody wants to watch this segment, it was very entertaining stuff.
How long is it?
What is it? It's about 8 minutes, I think. We
won't play that tonight.
No, don't play it here. No, I'm not saying don't play it here. I'm saying for the people, the viewers who are watching, they can watch it on their own time. So
yeah, and but no, it's true that most people were skeptical about Jimmy Butler, but no, Sophia and I were both actually. Sophia, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure you were cool with that move as well, right? I mean, I feel like you and I were one of the only ones who were like, dude, this guy's like a superstar. He carried his team to the finals.
Again, my theory was I was only against it just because, like, I thought, again,
Ryan, you were part of the majority, and look, you weren't wrong about anything. Like, the Jimmy Butler situation in Miami was just a really ugly, complex situation where you can understand the perspective of both sides. You can understand Miami wanting a player under contract to be committed, to not have his gripes out in public, to all the dramatics that Jimmy Butler was doing. I could understand if you have an argument against that. I get it. It was not professional.
Plus, I'm gonna go to another quick point here. The Warriors historically have been known for getting the short end of the stick when they make big deals, right? Historically, at least before maybe this ownership group, they used to make big deals, and it would always just basically be like a bird dropping on their face.
Yes.
And it's the exact opposite. I mean, they've gotten Jimmy Butler. They're arguably the hottest team, best team in the league. Only 2 losses, really 1 loss, right? Only 1 loss when Butler's played, and that was in Dallas, right? The game that they probably could have won. So, I mean, yeah, he's been a game changer, this guy. It's amazing. He's totally turned around the entire franchise. The Warriors are back to being the kind of team they were during the championship years. I mean, they're the hunted team now. People are coming in, they want to beat the Warriors. I mean, that's
hell yeah, dude.
That's why teams like the Pistons, the game tonight against Portland, these are all going to be tough games. When they play the Kings on Thursday, that's going to be a tough game.
Maybe. Last time they played each other on February 21st. We talked about this earlier before you got here, Ryan, and the Warriors did beat them by, I believe, 24. We shall see.
I don't know. You know what? Though, honestly, for some reason, I always think that the Kings games, even though Warriors can blow them out, I always think they're just somewhat. They're just
because they are. Well, but look, they were not a problem in the KD years. They were not a problem in 2022. But since then, for the last 2-3 years, basically since Mike Brown got to the Kings,
right,
they've been a bit of a problem for the Warriors.
Yeah.
And but Mike Brown's gone and Jimmy Butler's with the Warriors. It's a whole different story. And speaking of Jimmy, go ahead.
No, you're right. Yeah.
And speaking of Jimmy Butler, I want to play these 2 clips and then we'll wrap it up. Sophia, please forgive me again for us going as long as we are on your birthday. Happy birthday, Sophia Jones. We're going to play these sound bites, scores, standings out. Here is Jimmy Butler. And this attribution courtesy of Anthony Slater talking about what goes into the communication between Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield, which is helping Buddy Hield. In case you folks haven't noticed, Buddy's contributing a lot more positively since Jimmy Butler got here. You can say the same about most players, but Buddy, it's been particularly noticeable. And Jimmy was asked about that, and here are his words. Here is Jimmy Butler, who seems to never do interviews in the interview room.
Buddy
called you.
Don't listen to nothing Buddy says. Ever.
Okay.
He can't even spell connector. Man, I think about it. I'll take that all day, every day. I don't care what point in the game that is. Watch it. Buddy, spell connector. Hell.
Connector, connect 4.
See?
Connector.
Connector. Spell connector.
Connector. CON.
Oh, man, don't help him. Exactly my point. Y'all see that?
Why are you trying to stop me like that?
I'm not. She said that you called me a connector. I said,
Connector.
okay, so spell it. All right, I'm out. No, just stop.
All right, that was funny. And that was Janie McCauley of the Associated Press in the background there. All right, and the last soundbite is this is going to be Buddy Hield himself. And this is courtesy of KNBR, so the audio is going to be much better for this. That was a very funny back and forth, by the way. Kudos again to Anthony Slater for posting that. Sam Gordon also posted something similar. And here is Buddy Hield. And I'm looking forward to hearing this. We don't get a chance to preview these sound bites when we do these post-game shows. So I'm hearing them for the first time, the same as you. And Buddy was asked about the Warriors before Jimmy Butler. And I'm very curious to hear what he has to say about this. Here's Buddy Hield talking about the impact of Jimmy Butler on this Warriors team and the difference between the pre-Jimmy Warriors and the current Jimmy Warriors.
But it kind of feels as if it's been 2 seasons in 1 year, right? Where the first half of the season was one way, but then the second half of the season totally different.
Yeah.
But does it feel like that personally for you, being that this is your first season and only season with the Warriors? Did you feel different the first half of the season compared to the feeling that you have with their teammates on this side of the break?
No disrespect to everybody who's been there, like Wiggs and Kyle and Melt and Lindy. I feel like we had it clicking earlier, but then after that, I think woke up the league again, and then we just hit a wall. We couldn't turn it over. We just win one, lose 2, win 1, lose 2. We couldn't find that, get back to that flow. And then after that, I think when Jimmy came here, we missed those guys that we had. I think Jimmy came in and settled us back in, that putting that championship, that winning mindset that he's always known for, and the greatness of Steph and Draymond connecting with him. I think he just settles down, and he's closed a lot of games for us, and you see why he's here. Like, he brings a new spark on both ends. He connects both ends well, and playing with a guy like Draymond and Steph, they know how to defer, and then when Steph knows how to take over, he takes over. And Jimmy's a guy that he would take over, but he's a pass-first guy, and he made the right read, and he lets everybody be themselves. And when it's time to get the ball, enough times he tell me, give me the ball. And so when it's time to take over, he knows what to do. And Steph and Draymond let him do that, and he does let Steph do his thing too. So and Draymond just a connector. He just figures the game out. He's that quarterback just making the right reads on offense and defense. So and guys like me, BP, Moses, the Gees of the world, and Loon, we just got to come in and do our job at a high level and just make the right read, the defensive play, or the right shot, and and trust those guys to take us to the promised land.
He talks very fast. With that said, I loved what he was saying there. I particularly loved the end of it where he espoused a recognition of the fact that him, Pajemski, Gee, they're role players on this team, that they have a very specific role. I love hearing the acknowledgement. I love the self-awareness. Stephen Curry has acknowledged Buddy Hield as being the most positive player in the locker room. He loves the energy from Buddy. Sophia, your reaction to Buddy's comments? Oh, sorry, you're muted. That was my fault. Okay, you're good now. You're good. You're good. That was me. Sorry. Go
I
ahead.
didn't even notice.
No, I did it too. Sorry, that was my fault. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, just with it's nice to see Buddy, like you mentioned, just acknowledging the fact that these players have roles and they have to play into them. Just having that written out, or not written out, but just having that set for players that aren't the superstars like the Steph Curry or the Draymond, where they can kind of do what they want for the most part. But it's for those role players that you need to play into your role and exceed it if you can, but exceed it still within the threshold of what you've been like allowed to do, if that makes sense. It sounds kind of bad, but essentially, yeah. And so it was just definitely refreshing to hear Buddy kind of elaborate on all of that and say how things have been different since Jimmy has gotten there.
Buddy was 6 of 9 shooting from deep tonight, 7 of 10 from the field total, 20 points, a team leading plus 16 in net rating. He had 7 assists tonight. I'm going to guess that's a career high for him as a member of the Warriors. Don't quote me on that. That's a guess, but that was impressive. The scoreboard, I'm not going to go through every score because I'm looking at it right now. Most of these games are irrelevant, and it is your birthday. So let's just go through the ones that matter. Which was, and I know Ryan wants to leave too. He had a long day as well. So the important scores, the Lakers without LeBron James, who is going to miss reportedly a week, 2 weeks, an undetermined specific amount of time due to a groin injury. So he missed tonight's game in Brooklyn, and the Lakers lost as a result. The Nets beat the LA Lakers 111-108. Cam Johnson, 18.7 rebounds, 3 steals in the win. Luka Doncic, a triple-double in the loss, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists. So, and those matter now because I think the Warriors are chasing everybody ahead of them who are not named the OKC Thunder. So that game bears relevance. And then two other Western Conference games that affect the Warriors. The Houston Rockets, that's the team I'm paying closest attention to, with the Memphis Grizzlies directly behind them. And those are the two teams that we're going to briefly cover here. Houston winning tonight at home over the Orlando Magic, 97-84 to improve to 40-25. And then the Memphis Grizzlies won a very tough one and tight one over the Phoenix Suns at home, 120-118. Ja Morant, 29 points, 12 steals in the win. Kevin Durant, 35 points in the loss, which leads to the standings. And let me share my screen for everyone to see here so we can all commiserate together in terms of where the Warriors are in the playoff picture. And right now, the Warriors are still the 6th seed. They have a half-game lead over Minnesota, 3 games behind Houston, 4 games behind both the Memphis Grizzlies and the LA Lakers. So LeBron James and that groin injury is very relevant and very important because the Warriors are in play with 17 games remaining to catch up to both the Grizzlies and the Lakers. Sophia, we'll start with you. What do you predict the final result being for the Warriors in terms of the standings? Do you think they can catch? Do you think they can go up to 2? What is their ceiling? I guess that's what I'm curious to know from you, Sophia. Like, where do you think is the best possible finish for the Warriors this season?
I think 4 is honestly the most reasonable. I don't know how likely it is that they would catch the Lakers in the 3 spot. Even though, like you mentioned, with LeBron James being out 1 to 2 weeks, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I know Luka's been dealing with injuries himself. I wouldn't be surprised if in these games that LeBron's out, he doesn't try to take some rest as well to be ready for the playoffs. Which that could potentially shake some things up. But I think landing in the 4 seed would be extremely good position for the Warriors.
Hell yeah. By the way, I don't know if I said Luka Doncic had 12 steals. I misspoke if I said that. I apologize. He had 22 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists, just in case I misspoke. Ryan, what is your guess for the ceiling of where the Warriors could end up, man? Like what's the best case scenario you could see them reaching?
Well, I'll say it's potentially possible they could finish third. So I'll say that's a possibility. But erring on the side of realism here, I think 4 or 5.
Okay.
I mean, but again, you look at it where they are right now. I mean, they're all right there. I mean, 3, 4, and 5 is pretty much not much difference. I mean, it's just right percentage points.
Yeah.
Basically. So, and by the way, you're correct. By the way, on Buddy Hield, the 7 assists are his Warriors high.
That's crazy. Sophia, did you notice like 7 passes for buckets in this game from Buddy? It's an impressive number. You mentioned the team high steals. Oh, I don't know if it was a high, but it was a good number. The Warriors finished tonight with 36 steals tonight. But did you notice Buddy getting 7 of them? That's crazy.
Do you mean assists?
Yeah,
assists. Steals are 16.
Yeah, no, that honestly, and that's I think what you want in terms of just any single statistic where you don't even notice that it's happening because everything is just happening within the flow of the game.
Yeah. But do I keep maybe we're going long. I don't know if I keep fumbling my words and saying steal.
Yeah, you do. You keep calling assist steals.
I don't know why I'm doing that.
That would be really impressive if a team had 36 steals.
You know what was impressive though? Yeah. Speaking of steals, because it got me looking at the box score. The Warriors had 16 steals tonight. That sounds insanely high. Like Jimmy Butler had 3, Draymond had 4, Quentin Post and Moses Moody each had 1, Steph had 2, Buddy Hield had 2, GP2 had 1, Kevon Looney had 2.
All right, so you're right about one thing. Sorry, not to interrupt, but yeah, you're right. 16 steals ties their season high.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, and so that's the Warriors for you. Sorry for the faux pas there, the slip ups verbally. But I guess that's it. Sophia Jones, happy birthday to you! Bravo, congratulations. Any more celebrations coming up, or is all the fun behind you?
Oh, it's behind. Yeah.
I love it. Ryan Leong, people can follow you on Twitter at Ryan Leong. It's super easy. Any final thoughts from you as we wrap it up?
Just that I'm again, another big win for the Warriors. As I mentioned to you, I just let the audience know I won't be here on Thursday because my cousin's visiting from Montreal. So I'm going to take her to see the Sharks, and we'll see another Celebrini. We'll see Macklin Celebrini against Connor Bedard. Anybody who follows hockey, the top 2 number 1 draft picks, even though I know both teams suck, that's going to be kind of cool to watch. So
Agreed.
I won't be here Thursday, but I will be back on Saturday, post-game after the next game.
And like I said, when the offseason comes, Ryan, we'll have you on the show regularly just because you know what's funny, Ryan? It's not funny. I think it's cool, and I think you'll find this. I think you'll like hearing this. When Ryan, on the nights when you're not here, people ask about you. So congrats.
Thank you.
On the impact that you have made on this show, because people do notice like for example, when the Warriors are on the road, like the chat's like, "Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan?" So you're making an imprint, my friend. Congratulations. And Sophia, people obviously love you. Any final thoughts, Sophia, on your birthday night show? Happy birthday again. Any final thoughts, reactions, whatever you want to say?
Yeah, just thank you to everyone in the comments, especially for all the birthday wishes. I've seen people say that I look tired and that I'm ready to get to sleep, which you're a little right, but not too much on me. I spent these last couple of days in Vegas with San Francisco women's basketball, and because Vegas just messes with my sinuses all the time, like my allergies are just on 10, so I'm dumb drowsy right now. So yeah, I just want to set that record straight. Thanks everyone for their wishes.
So the Vegas, the whatever the opposite of humidity is, like the dryness affects you.
Smoke. It's the smoke. Yeah, I have to pop like a ton of Benadryls every single night.
Ooh, I like Strictly Christo in the chat saying what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, including the pollen. Not herpes though.
Maybe they have a travel version of the Sophia. You need like a humidor or something,
Yeah.
or some kind of a neti pot or something to get humidity.
Yeah, I have it's called a Navage. I don't know if you've seen the commercials for it, but it's kind of weird, but it's like a sinus rinse, and I actually need to do it.
Yeah.
But I gotta start traveling with my diffuser at this point.
Yeah, just take it with you. I mean, I speak from experience. I have a nasal spray I'm supposed to take too. I just get lazy and don't do it. So anyway.
I love it. How is USF doing, by the way? I mean, where are they in terms of March? Because March Madness, I believe, is here.
Yeah, our women's team, we lost on a buzzer beater against Oregon State.
Oof, rough.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what the status is of us potentially making the NIT. I have to check to see what the men's team is doing right now, but they're definitely going to make the NIT.
Okay.
Maybe, I think if they beat Gonzaga, and then depending how far they go in the tournament, they could be an at-large bid for the NCAA.
Your alma mater is San Jose State, where you were formerly a point guard. Ryan Leong, what is your alma mater?
Gators, SF State.
SF State. All right. I like it. Okay. So,
yeah.
So, and I don't think they have much of an athletic program, but
no.
USF Dons.
And actually, I think they're just going to cut their baseball program, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. This is rough times in a lot of places.
Yep, sure
well, hopefully not rough when it comes to the Golden State Warriors. Another win tonight. They are balling. They're now 9 games above 500, 37 and 28 is the record. They're in pursuit of who knows what the final playoff seeding will be. But Sophia Jones, happy birthday. You killed it tonight, as you always do. Folks can follow you on Twitter at Sophia Jones _2. You can follow Ryan Leong on Twitter at Ryan Leong. You can follow me on Twitter at Surf Journalist. I think that's it. Are we done? Are we good?
Yep.
Good night. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. No. Hold on. Okay, bye.